Hey everyone. Okay, I'm a little nervous to talk about this topic because it's a part of my journey that not even my parents know. But over the last week, I keep feeling like a pull on my heartstrings that I need to, hey Tara, that I need to share this part of my journey. Hey Denise, I haven't talked to you in forever. So the reason I'm sharing this in this manner is because I know many of you are like me, and when you see a super long post, we don't read the whole thing. And I felt that you guys could really grasp better and connect better to what I'm about to talk to you guys about in this manner, going live. Hey Rick, hey Chrissy, I see you guys hopping on. Thank you for joining me. This is gonna be a very vulnerable live. I'm gonna try to keep it together for you. But I feel that it's something that needs to be discussed. I know there's many people out in this world right now, teenagers, young kids, adults, elderly, that have suicidal thoughts. And it's a scary place to be. It's a lonely place to be. And I've been there. I see you guys hopping on Instagram too. Hey everybody. Hey Sylvia. I've been there more than once. Like had everything laid out to do it more than once. And it's the most lonely place in the world. God, this is so hard for me to share. Like I said, not even my parents know about this part. Maybe I'll get lucky and they won't watch this. If they do watch it, hopefully they watch it to the end and they see where the whole thought process was. But to get into the meats and potatoes, if you are feeling this way right now, I want to tell you that you don't have to be alone. If you've ever thought this way, you don't have to go back to those thoughts. But let me share my journey with all of this. If I tear up, I'm gonna apologize now. It might happen. And yes, I live in Florida, and yes, I have sweats on, but I have a tank top. But I do have sweats on. It's a little chilly here, but it feels good. I like to wear my comfy clothes. So let me tell you my story. I had a great childhood. I had issues with anger stuff when I was a teenager, to the point that I used to always, don't cry, Tara. I used to always look up bipolar. I thought I had bipolar disorder because I would go from super happy and up one moment to super sad and, you know, hating everything about my life, to all of a sudden something happens and I'm happy again. And so, you know, when you research a lot of those things, you know, I saw it, you know, my General Hospital, Sonny, the guy that plays Sonny, he lives with bipolar in his real life, not on the soap. So, you know, when I saw things that they were doing on that show, I really thought that that's what I had. Still to this day, think that that's an issue that I was struggling with. I never went to the doctor for it because I never talked to my parents about it. You know, I would have outbursts of anger that whatever was in my hand, it could have been something as simple as this. If I was angry, that shit was flying. It was getting thrown somewhere because I felt like I had to throw the anger. I was always so mad. I was always yelling. I was always throwing stuff. There were some times that I felt so angry that I felt I had to scream in a pillow or punch my pillow. A lot of times I punched walls, doors. It was always hitting. I would punch my steering wheel. There were so many times that I would have issues with my past marriage, and I would get right in my car and drive like a maniac because I was so pissed and aggravated. And I'd punch my steering wheel and I would scream and I would just lose it. And I started really hating myself. And I felt that everybody else in my life would be better off if I wasn't there. If there is anybody that is live right now that feels like this, that what I'm describing, if you feel like that in this moment, or if you ever have felt like that in your life, put a heart or a thumbs up across the screen. Because I need you guys to know that you can be stronger. And it happens to all of us, I think, at one point in our life or another. But the part that was the darkest for me was that moment when, now I'm getting hot because I'm getting worked up with my emotions here. This is really hard for me to share this, but I just feel I have to. It's been pulling on me for like a week now to share with you guys. So before I shared it on here, I just have to tell you, I did tell Alex that this was something in my past. I didn't want him to hear it here first. I did tell him, we were watching a movie about suicide, and I told him that there were a couple times that I had things ready to do it. So we talked about it a little bit. I didn't really get in depth with it. I didn't want to, but I feel like I have to, because I feel like there's someone out there that's one of my followers that is either in this depressed mode right now, in the suicidal mode right now, or you have been at one point. And if you have been at one point, there's a possibility of going back. And I want to save you from that. So here's the rest of my story. So, you know, I got married, not at a super young age, but I didn't really get to live my 20s. I was already married, you know, I'm 41 now, Kayla's gonna be 17. So that shows you at what age I had my first child. It was not planned. I was on birth control and got pregnant. So it was planned by God, it just wasn't planned by me and her father. I wasn't married before having her, but he wanted to get married before having her, so I was just like, okay. Well, my life was not in a happy place. I was a new mom, dealing with postpartum, and not knowing how to deal with postpartum is what I should say. I put a mask on. I learned how to perfect the mask of everything's good, everything's kosher, life is fantastic, but I never felt it inside. And there were so many times fights started happening, and I just felt like I had no way out. I felt stuck in my life. I felt miserable. I felt there was no way out. This is just how it was going to be. I was going to wake up sad every day, wake up hating everything every day. Oh, Karen. I'm sorry. I'm just reading I'm reading a couple comments as they come in. Hey, Vicky. So, I first, before getting to the point of actually having things ready to commit like the worst act I possibly can in my life, I would say it. I would tell people. I would tell my husband at the time that I just wanted to kill myself. I just thought that everyone would be better off without me. You know, that I added no value to anyone's life. You know, I'm miserable all the time. He obviously hates me because he's always complaining to me about who I was as a person and always telling me my flaws. So why is he married to me anyways? And it was just a round and round and round thing. And I was always, now as I can think about it, I was reaching out for someone to help me. I was reaching out for someone to say, of course you add value. Of course we want you here. We would hate our life without you here. But nobody would say that. So then the more that I would reach out and say these things out loud, hoping that somebody would just scoop me up and save me, it just never happened. And then the more it didn't happen, the more I thought, oh, well, maybe I'm right. Maybe my feelings are right. Maybe being on this earth, like I have no point to be here. Like, what's my point? To have a baby and not be miserable because of that baby, because she is like my best friend, but miserable in my situation. I didn't have to get married. I don't even know why I did. I didn't have to, but I was in a dark place. There was a couple instances where I was done. In my mind, I was done. Like, put a fork in me, I'm done. And I had Xanax at the time, and I had a couple bottles of it, and I remember sitting on the floor in my bathroom in hysterics, just pleading with God that, and I didn't go to church every Sunday, but I was pleading with him, just I need to know what you want me to do. Like, I don't know what my path is. I don't know what you want from me. I don't know what I'm supposed to do. I don't know how to find happiness because I think this will make me happy. I do that. I'm still not happy. And I sat on the floor with my glass of water and the medicine. And all I kept thinking is, but I'll just go to sleep. It'll be peaceful. People might cry for a little bit. I see some of your comments, guys. I'm going to comment back as soon as I'm done. But people might be sad because they're feeling the pain of loss. Maybe not necessarily because I'm gone. But they'll get over it. They'll be fine. They'll move on. That's what I was thinking. And I just sat there staring at the bottle of pills, staring at the glass of water. And I just obviously didn't do it. But I don't know, honestly, I don't know where the strength came from. I honestly feel it was because I felt my daughter needed me. I kept pleading with God, and the only thing that kept going through my mind every time I looked at the bottle of pills was Kayla. I didn't have Ryan at the time. That was like the first time around. The second time around, same situation. But I had both the kids. I felt alone. I felt like a single mom. I was married, but I felt like a single mother. I was miserable. I couldn't find my purpose. I couldn't find my life. I couldn't find anything. And I just felt like a failure. I didn't feel like a good mom because I was always so tired. And I just was exhausted. I felt like my mind was never clear. And I honestly felt that was my only way out. And I'm sorry that I'm not responding back to your comments. I see you guys commenting, and I promise I'm going to go back and read every single one. I just don't want to get sidetracked with sharing this because I think it's important. Suicide rates are high. And like, I just saw on the news the other day, like a 14-year-old. 14! Like, how are there not someone there to try to help these babies? Like, if they're feeling the way that I was feeling of why I was just like, you know what? I can't do this. I can't anymore. Like, to feel like that at 14, they're probably bullied or whatever may be. We really need to stop walking around in a haze with our faces in screens and not noticing when people need us. And this is why I felt like I had to share this, because I needed someone. And I didn't go to my parents because I didn't want them to not be proud of me. Stop it. Stop. There's not even anything out there. You don't even know why you're crying. Maybe she's crying because I'm sad. And I'm not really even sad. I just can't believe that was me. I can't believe what I'm talking to you about was the old me. I would never think of anything like that as who I am now. I had 2 dark times in my life. And I can say that I'm extremely proud of the person that I have become. But it's not an easy place to be. So whoever out there is watching this, if you are feeling like that right now, if you have felt like that, I can promise you there's a way out. There is a way out. There is a way to feel better. There is a way to find that happiness. But only we can do it for ourselves. You can have support system, which is what I needed to find, which I found. You can have that support system. But you have to be able to make yourself stronger. You have to be able to make this stronger. I mean, there were so many things just not good in my life that made me so sad that I was ready to do something like that. But the important thing is, I know I was throwing signs out there. Anything other than saying, please help me because I want to kill myself, but I really don't want to kill myself. Because it was almost like I really didn't want to, but I felt like that was my only way. But I didn't like reach out to my mom and say, help me, because this is how I feel. Because I didn't want to go to a psychiatrist or them put me on medicine or whatever. Like, I just wanted to be happy, but I wanted to do it by I wanted to be happy. I wanted to find a way to make myself happy. I don't know if that makes any sense to you guys, but I didn't want to go to my parents and feel like a failure. So when I think about how I was when I was feeling suicidal, oh my God, just to even say those words. But when I was feeling that way, I can only imagine how these younger people, and even our age now, when they're feeling that way, they don't want to go to someone because they don't want to look weak. They don't want to look like a failure. And they feel like speaking about it to someone else makes them weak and makes them a failure. But I want to tell you, all of you that are watching me right now, that's what makes you strong. I wish I could have been stronger in that moment to really just yell out to someone instead of saying, oh, maybe I'll just kill myself because, then everybody else in my life can be happy. I really feel like I could have just came out and said what I'm saying now. Guys, this was years ago. My kids were babies, and I'm just able to talk about this. I'm just comfortable enough to talk about what I went through. Look at how many years that was. So can you imagine someone's going through that right now? So maybe just smiling at them or just giving them an extra long hug so they feel loved. Anything like that. I still suffer sometimes from some sort of bipolarness, and I don't say that with any disrespect to anyone that has bipolar, but I've never been diagnosed by a doctor. My emotions can go up and down in the drop of a hat. I can be super happy and then all of a sudden super sad, and then the sadness goes away and I'm super happy again, and it's just weird. I could just be in the middle of a workout and just bust out in hysterics like Alex just broke up with me. And I'm in the middle of a workout. So I know I still suffer from some of those things, but my mind is in such a stronger place. And I'm going to tell you what I feel really helped me and what I feel saved me. Walking. I started my fitness journey going for walks. I got active. And the reason I got active is because I was going through my divorce, and I was so stressed out that I was sick skinny. I wasn't a healthy thin. I wasn't a fit, healthy looking person. I was thin. I was wearing size 0. I was wearing clothes that I wear now, but I looked sick because I couldn't keep any food down. I was always stressed out, and I needed something to escape it because I was drinking a lot, so I wouldn't feel, because the drinking just numbed everything. So I didn't want to become an alcoholic. I didn't want to go down any of those roads. So I decided to start getting active, just get myself moving. And so I started walking. And then I really loved the fitness. It started jogging. Then I started running and doing 5Ks. And then I started, trying these group fitness classes. And then someone told me about P90X. So I tried that at home and fell in love. And that's been my therapy ever since. I do it at home. I could be a stinky, sweaty mess looking like I peed my pants, and no one's the wiser unless I post it on social media because I'm at home. So I can tell you, if you're going through this, and I don't know if anybody else, I know there's been lots of comments, if fitness had helped you. I think, Jennifer, you had said, I thought I saw it scroll by, that fitness has really helped you with, your depression and suicidal thoughts. But if there's someone that you see that is maybe not acting like themselves, showing little signs of sadness, depression, suicidal thoughts, saying weird things like, well, maybe if I wasn't here, it would be better for everyone, things like that. Maybe see if they want to do a walk with you every other day, a few times a week, just so they don't feel alone, and get them out, get them active, get them doing something, because that is what truly helped me. And And then, of course, when I decided to start my business and do all the coaching and stuff, they really focus a lot on personal development, which is also something that, you know, when you become, like I was doing real estate and stuff like that, a lot of the realtors were saying that too, for personal development. So I really started reading books and listening to books, you know, listening to motivational speakers and things like that on YouTube. Free, didn't have to pay for it, but just to help my mind. And I can tell you that there's such a big change from that person that was dealing with all of those stressors and all of those unhappy things to the person that, not last year, but the year prior, ended up having to have a lumpectomy with a breast cancer scare, it was either two miscarriages in that same year. So I had those 3 things happen, and they were all back to back. When I say back to back, I mean back to back. And what's funny with the breast cancer scare is that I only went because of my daughter, because I promised her I'd make an appointment. And they saw something they didn't like. And then I had to have the lumpectomy done. That was a very scary thing to go through. And then the 2 miscarriages, it took us like a year to get pregnant, and then miscarried within like a couple months, and then tried again and did it again. And, you know, I never got into that dark place again, going through those 3 hard things in 1 year. I never went back into the dark place. I just kept focusing on me. I dug deep into one of my books to help me. I dug real deep into my fitness, you know, and I just made sure I was eating right. I ate some bad things because it made me feel good, but whatever. But yes, Tara, you were there with me through that. So I don't share this for pity. I don't share this to get you to join my next fitness group. I'm only sharing this because, like I said, I've been having a tug on my heartstring for like a week, because I feel like there's someone out there that I just needed to reach out to and hold their hand virtually and say, you're gonna be okay. We'll get through this. We can go on little virtual walks together. We can work out on video chat. Anything that can help you through it. But basically, to tell you that there is a light at the end of the tunnel. There is a way out of that darkness. You don't have to do the act of removing yourself from the world to finally feel better. You don't have to. You don't, as one of my dogs, puke up her water. You don't have to hurt yourself and remove yourself from the world to feel better. I'm going to say that as many times as I need to. You don't have to. You just have to find your happy place in your mind. You have to be real with yourself on why you're feeling the way you're feeling. You have to be 100% honest with yourself and whomever reaches out to help you, like I'm doing right now. You have to be honest with why you're feeling that way. I wasn't honest with myself at first. I was feeling that way because I was miserable in my relationship, but I felt like I was stuck in my life, like I felt trapped in the world. And I just felt like it's the only way to be untrapped. But I'm here to tell you, it's not the only way to be untrapped, because look at me now, I'm here. You know, yes, I still go through struggles, and like I said, this morning I struggled emotionally. But I'm feeling okay because I dug into a little bit of personal development. I had a little bit of me time, you know, and I start to get myself back on track. It's gonna happen. We are not perfect. We are not robots. We are human freaking beings. And there are so many, you know, like emotional cords going on in our hearts and our minds. There's wires everywhere up in here that there can be wrong wiring. There can be chemical imbalances. There are so many things that could be wrong. But you don't hide. Don't hide. Because when you hide, you're going to keep yourself stuck. You're going to keep yourself stuck. And you might not stop yourself. I'm so happy I stopped myself. I love the life that I have. There are moments that I get pissed and aggravated and say, you know, but that's just life. But I'm learning how to deal with it. I'm learning how to help myself and in turn help other people. And to me, that's what this social media stuff is about. Staying connected with your friends and reaching out to help other people. Not for negativity, not for political arguments. This needs to be somewhere that we come, that we can find help. We can find guidance. We can find motivation. We can find inspiration. And that's everything I was lacking in my life when I was feeling those suicidal thoughts. I had no motivation. Nothing was inspiring me. I just figured, this is it. This is it, and this isn't what I want. I'm not going to live like this until I'm 70, 80 years old. So I just had to share that with you guys. I am going to go back and read all these messages. I see you guys, like, I feel so supported right now because I see all the comments, and I'm hoping that by me coming live and talking to you about this today, I've helped someone. Even if I just helped one of you that's watching it live or watching the replay, then I've done what I needed to do. Like, that pull on my heartstring isn't there anymore right now because I feel like I did what I needed to do. It was really scary to share that dark side that I've never shared before. It was scary to be in that dark place, but I have never verbally spoken to anyone about this. This is the first time I have ever spoken about it. I honestly don't even know if I've spoken to my best friend Amy, who I have known since middle school, about this. But I just felt it's something that I needed to do. I know there's so much sadness, and there's other people that feel this way. And I wanted to share in case it could help somebody. And if there's any of you out there that are feeling like that and need somebody to help you take those few steps so you don't feel alone, if you need somebody to hold you, I'm always here. I'm a message away. You guys know I answer my messages. It doesn't take me long. You're not sitting for days waiting. So I feel like I need to help other people through this the way that I was able to help myself. I didn't go to any doctors. I didn't talk to family. I just figured my shit out. I mean, like I said, there's still times where, you know, I'm not 100% happy. There's times where life is happening and it's not what I want it to be. But again, that's life, and I've learned how to get through it. And that's one of the reasons why I started growing this girl tribe of women, because I never feel alone in life. Ever again, I will never feel alone. I have Alex, so I'll never feel alone, but you ladies get me. Like, I have my ladies. I'll never feel alone. I'll never feel like I can't get through, because I have so many people to reach out to, and so many people that are constantly there for me, constantly supporting me. And you could have that too. You don't have to be by yourself. You guys, I can tell you 100 times all day that you don't have to be alone. And that's one thing I want you to take away from this, is that you do not have to be alone, and you do not have to stay in the dark place. There are ways out. And I love you all tremendously. Thank you for hopping on with me. Gosh, that was so crazy to share. It was weird of me just hearing the words come out of my mouth that I was in a suicidal place in my life at one point. But thank you again for joining me. And I am going to go in now and read all the comments so I can keep communicating with you guys. But if there's anybody out there feeling like that right now, just please know you're not alone. There are loved ones. They just don't know the signs. They just don't know what you're trying to tell them. Love you guys. Have a great day.